Which former president had a family home in Fairhaven, Massachusetts? A. Calvin Coolidge, B. George Washington, C. Abraham Lincoln, D. Franklin D. Roosevelt. The answer is D. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Here's Anthony.
Those who named Fairhaven may have sold it short. With its water views, elegant architecture, and historic sites, it might as easily have been Grand or Great Haven.
Much of the historic and architectural largesse of Fairhaven is due to the generosity of just one man. When we think about the Standard Oil Company in America, we think, of course, about the Rockefellers. But much of the success of that company was due to a native son of Fairhaven.
Henry Huddleston Rogers left town at 21 to find fortune in the oil fields of Pennsylvania.
Henry was the second man in control of Standard Oil. He was called the brains of Standard Oil, did more of the work probably, but not as recognized a name. He was worth, in his day, more than Bill Gates is worth today.
And Rogers gave back to his home community, hiring renowned Boston architect Charles Brigham to design and construct a number of ornate town buildings. Chris Richard is Fairhaven's Director of Tourism and offers free tours of town.
Brigham chose different European styles for each of the buildings he designed. The town hall is French Gothic, the library is Italian, the Unitarian Church is an English perpendicular Gothic cathedral. He really mixed things up and gave us a very European-looking section of town here.
The Elizabethan-influenced high school was described by Architectural Digest as the most beautiful high school in Massachusetts in 2017. Mark Twain was a friend of Rogers and visited often, speaking at the town hall dedication in 1894. But Twain and Rogers were not the only renowned people to spend time in Fairhaven.
I have a lot of photos of Franklin in the house and out in the yard.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, whose great-grandfather built the Delano House here.
They called it their homestead, and the family would kind of come and converge here during the summertime to be close to the ocean.
Franklin broke the news of his engagement to Eleanor here and visited during his years at Harvard and throughout his life and presidency. It remained in the Delano family until the 1940s.
The provenance was one of the things that made me think it would be a good bed and breakfast.
Paul Beauchamp has been running it as a 3-room B&B for the last 17 years, welcoming visitors unaware of the history and
some it's very important, and they want to see all the different artifacts, and some of them are actually Delanos. We've had a number of visits from the Delano Kindred Society and various groups of the Delano family.
Beauchamp was attracted by the history of the building and the nature of the community.
A confluence of historic architecture mixed with the location, very friendly and down to earth.
You can feel that vibe at Elizabeth's, where fishermen, tourists, and businessmen mingle seamlessly amid a slightly kitschy decor in what cannot fully be described as a seafood restaurant. One-time dishwasher and now sous chef Colby Cabral.
We are a seafood restaurant, but we'll do lamb shanks as a special, a variety of steak specials. One of our big sellers is during the entire winter-fall season, we'll sell a pumpkin ravioli.
For Cabral and owner Doug Bucher, who also run the adjacent Margaret's Breakfast and Lunch spot, it's not really work.
I like making people happy, and I can make people happy through cooking. I mean, I have a job where I wake up and I get to do what I love every single day.
Fueled up, you might have energy to shop at the Euro store downtown, a one-stop shop for a little bit of almost anything, chock full of gifts and necessities, both nautical and not. Gail Isaacson owns the store, as well as the Fairhaven shipyard and much property in town. A different story for a different time. But what makes Fairhaven special?
It's got everything. It's got the ocean, it's got our proximity to Providence, Boston, everywhere. Great for boating, swimming, not missing much.
Including revolutionary history at Fort Phoenix, a picturesque spot overlooking Buzzards Bay and site of the first naval engagement of the Revolutionary War in 1775.
A group of 25 sailors came out of Fairhaven and they captured 2 British-held vessels out in the harbor. And so we won that. It was just a month after the battles of Lexington and Concord.
A bit of everything in the tidy package of Fairhaven. A grand place indeed.
Indeed, and we should note that Machias, Maine also lays claims to the first naval engagement of the Revolutionary War, although this battle actually took place about a month after the incident off of Fairhaven, and we'll let the historians deal with that.
Yeah, they can deal with that. Back to the architecture of Charles Brigham here. There's so much of it in such a condensed area that Fairhaven actually draws architecture students from all over who want to study the architecture. When all those buildings were being built, the craftsmen from all over Europe were brought in to help do it.
That's wow. All right, coming up, historic writers and books when Chronicles History Quiz continues.